Good evening, kinfolk. I have nothing to demonstrate tonight. I figured I would just speak with words to you and answer any questions that may come through. I think the natural progression of isometric exercise is to then understand movement to its fullest capacity. Because without isometrics, there is no movement. And without movement, there is no isometrics. So I studied and learned a lot about isometrics. And I would like to think that I have just a base knowledge of movement until recently, when I understood with isometrics how to pressurize the body. Now with movement, that's the expression of pressure. So I will become a better isometrics coach if I become an expert in movement. Does that make sense to anybody? But what are we doing this all for? Understanding the human body. It's to use it, right? It's to use it in its best capacity. And I think there's also something to be said about reserving energy and using energy and gaining energy. And to sustain a certain energy level throughout your life, you have to understand how to move and how to use strength. So that movement and tasks become more efficient and less energy expensive. So learning how to move better to conserve energy. Hello, Evelyn. How are you this evening? I'm just pondering a couple things as I sit on my deck. What is everyone doing today? Did anybody do any exercise today themselves or any sort of movement? Hello, Aquino. Did anybody do any sort of exercise or movement themselves today? Pleasure to meet all of you. What are you here for? Are you here to better understand life and exercise? Are you here just to... Hello, Maya. I was just going on a sort of a talk about movement and isometrics, the opposite sides of the same coin. That is just a great... Hello from Serbia, Europe. Hello. You never really know where YouTube takes you these days. It could take you anywhere in the world. That's why I use YouTube as my platform. Also, being able to go live just from my deck. Travel the world by sitting here on my deck. It's quite interesting. But anyway, I have isometric expertise, and I am now focusing my time and energy on a combination of isometrics and movement and understanding how the body should move so that we can stay alive for a long time and conserve energy so we're not like robots and we're using gravity to leverage movement. You know, One thing interesting about YouTube is the chat group can be of content. It could be on topic, or it can just be anything. There's no rules in the chat box, is what I'm understanding. Then it kind of gets you off track. Where was I? I was talking about isometrics, of course, and then I'm talking about seeing hamburger cheese in the comment box. So, let's just go into some detail here on some things that I'm talking about here. Just give me a moment. Once again, I am talking from my... Wow, okay, isn't this great? So, let's talk here. The body rotates, and the foot, once finished lyrics, see, what I've learned interacting with the chat group, with the chat box, with the chat, is that you have to read what you're going to read in your head before you read it out loud, because a lot of people will be setting you up in the chat box to say something you don't want to say. Finish the lyrics. I'm 2 days into college. I'm 3 lectures behind. I don't know. I graduated college, so I'm not really worried about that now. Anyway, okay, trunk rotating. Do you see what I'm looking at here? How to get our bodies into that position with an isometric hold. Hear that bird? This is also a time to take in nature and take a breath. Okay, logged on. Does anybody have any questions about isometrics or exercise? It's been a pleasure speaking with all of you this evening. I usually let these go for 10 to 20 minutes, so I'll probably cut this off in the next 2 minutes here. What can I leave you with? Get the upper body moving in a figure 8. How to gain muscle. Isometric holds. Holding static positions, which allows you to increase your nervous system that activates more muscle fiber. And then the activation of more muscle fiber is the stimulus to gain more muscle fiber. So static holds is what I would say to gain muscle. See what I'm saying here? Wow. Now it's raining too. Can you guys hear the rain? Anyway, if you guys just look at my content, you'll probably be able to figure out what I'm talking about. No, it's not a green screen. Look at my content to understand how to exercise. I'm not really sure why you're here. But if you watch this not live, maybe you can get some information from it. Otherwise, I'm just a rambling behemoth here. Like and subscribe. I have like 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, that was the green screen. I have 1,000 subscribers, and I remember when I only had like 60. And I remember when I only had like 60. And I would be doing the same content, the same effort. Because you really never know when you're going to be able to send a message to somebody that needs it. I really don't know what I'm talking about here. Let's talk about this here. So, all right. This is what I'm talking about. See the rotation here? See the rotation? He's rotating on his left foot. His right heel is going away from his body. He's internally rotated his knee and his right hip. His shoulders are square. And he's tucked in. You know, it just seems like a super efficient way to throw the football. The shoulders square. This is something I'd like to talk about here. The shoulders square, right? So the shoulders, I'm sorry. The shoulders are the widest part of the body. So it would make sense to rotate using the leverage of the shoulders. So that's why you keep the shoulders square when you're throwing something. You keep the shoulders level while you're throwing something, because that's going to give you the most inertia. When you start to tilt your shoulders, now it may not be the widest part of the body. Okay. That's it for me. Everybody have a night. I've had a day. Got some clients to coach up tomorrow, and that's it. Over and out.